Alright guys, what's going on? Just2D2, and welcome back to No Limits. So in the last episode we built this track, which I'm gonna fly around and kind of show you. And to do that, once you exit, well once you're in the thing with the ride-on coaster, you could just press that again. And then you could right click to kind of move the camera around and just use WASD to fly around. So this is what the track looks like right now. It's pretty short, I just made it for the purpose of demonstrating. So let's see what it looks like. So to start, to see what it looks like, you just press the thing that looks like a traffic light. And that brings up, puts you in the thing, and it'll go up the lift hill. And it pretty much just goes throughout the track. And if you don't have enough speed going through an element, then you'll go back. So you gotta make sure you're going fast enough to go through all the elements. Yeah, so after we see this, I'll actually show you how to make a loop, because in the last video I just did pre-made. And also, going through the track also helps you see like if there are any unsmooth parts, or if you need to smooth something out. I don't know if the brake, no, that brake, I need to have a bigger deceleration on that brake. See, it's kind of like trial and error once you get a basic coaster design done. You gotta make this brake longer. You gotta move this out so it's kind of smoother. And you gotta make the deceleration more. Well, probably make it 1.5. But something I forgot to do was there's a trigger, which I usually set to the front car and have it to the beginning so it activates like as soon as you go through it. Makes it better, which I didn't do when I was doing the demonstration. So another thing that you could do is if you select a track, you could press I, which makes it straight. Press I, makes it all straight, which is pretty helpful depending on what you're doing. So let's go back into view and kind of get an off-ride perspective of the ride, just to kind of show you guys. And obviously if you want, you can make the loop bigger, you could have different elements. So let's just watch it go. And obviously I can make the lift faster, which is something I may do. But this is a short track just for demonstrating purposes. But then again, that tight loop is a lot like an aero loop, so yeah, see then with the deceleration it brings it to a stop faster, and then it just waits for 5 seconds and it goes back out. And then the lift, not the transport, brings it back into the station. So that's like the basics of No Limits. Now, if we wanted to go back on the coaster, we gotta, well, what we have to do in order to actually show you a loop without starting a new thing is press Shift C to get rid of that, and then you gotta delete all this stuff now. So I'm selecting a vertex and pressing delete, and you could also just drag over and then press delete and gets rid of the whole thing, which I didn't want to get rid of that vertex. So then we get that, and now we have a smaller track. So now I'm going to show you how to make a loop. So what I would like to do is go into the side view for this. It doesn't matter which side you're doing, just really your preference. You gotta have the segment be track. So then what you do is you kind of just make it a circle like that. And that's obviously not a loop. So what you need to do, you need to get it into kind of position. You just need to position everything. Get rid of that vertex. And then you gotta make this roll until, no, I'm not going the right way. You gotta make it roll until everything is lined up. So you gotta go through and it doesn't twist you around. And one thing that you have to do when you're building coasters is not make it in a straight line. Because once when I was first starting out making coasters, I made coaster, and it had no turns in it. I made it in the side view. Like the whole thing was in the side view. There were no turns in it. It was just straight track with whatever I had it do. Now you just gotta like mess around with the track. Gonna get it orientated right. You kind of see right there what I'm doing. So what you want to do is just go through and see if it's all good. And if it is, then you want to Control G it up. Make it like that. And then like that. Well, not like that because that messes things up. But you could also kind of make it more of a loop if you wanted to. So yeah, that's basically how you make a loop. It's not as smooth as the pre-made one, and partially that's because I haven't actually made a real loop in a while. So yeah, that's how you make a loop. Kinda. So now, after that's done, since we made a loop and it looks like poop, rhyming, you just Control Z it up to get back to what we had. I don't think I could go back anymore. Alright, well, I gotta go forward. Okay, well that just messed things up. So we go back into top view now. And then you select all that. And then you delete. And then you gotta select that vertex. And then you get that. So yeah, that's how you make a loop. That's the basic way how to make a loop. So yeah, I messed this coaster up badly. How to destroy a coaster. Well, now what we could do, since I messed things up, and since that kind of looks like a different coaster, we can change the coaster design if we wanted to, let's make it a hyper coaster now. So I just changed it midstream, and this will be now how you kind of sort of make a hyper coaster. Kind of, sort of. But yeah, you have, in order to see what it looks like, you have to have it be a closed circuit, which is kind of annoying, because it's not like RCT3 where you see it go through the track. So yeah, well, I'll show you how to make a hyper coaster in the next video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I really messed up that coaster. See you later, bye.